Hey folks, today's topic is creation or evolution. Definitely a topic that everyone has an opinion about. So let's try to keep an open mind and see where the facts take us. So people who believe in creation believe that we were all created by God. God made the world in 7 days, and the earth is somewhere between 6 and 12,000 years old. And evolution being the viewpoint from science that man has evolved over millions of years, that the earth is around 4.5 billion years old, and the universe itself is 13.7 billion years old, and that man evolved from ape. So it's basically a religion versus science debate. So the religious viewpoint, say from a Christian perspective, based from the Bible. But when you really look at the Bible, what evidence is there other than a bunch of books written by a bunch of people that we have to trust that the stories were passed down from ages? And evolution being the viewpoint from science that actual hard science of conducting experiments and being able to show you where they draw their conclusions from. So let's look at the Bible as evidence. Now, when you look at the Bible as evidence, you're pretty much going out on a limb that these people that wrote all these books of the Bible, that first of all, you have to believe that they're telling the truth. You also have to believe that what they're writing down, they didn't change it into the language over hundreds of years. And first of all, you have to believe that none of it's a lie in the first place. And say when you're looking at a book of the Bible, just take any book for example. Let's say the book of John. Well, John didn't actually write the book of John. We just think John wrote the book of John. So to say the Bible is hard evidence is really going out on a limb to me. Another fact is that the Bible has been wrong many times throughout the ages. For example, people believing the world was flat. Science had to prove that, hey, it's not flat, it's round. The earth is not the center of the universe. That was once believed. Actually, we revolve around the sun. That's something else that science had to prove. And then every time that science comes up with new findings, then the Bible has to change, or the people that teach the Bible have to change what they're teaching in order to fit the newly discovered laws of science. So that's another strike against the Bible as being evidence. Is how are you going to believe it when it's already been wrong many times in the past? How do what you're taking from it now is right or wrong? So now let's look at evolution. I mean, even if you just look at the past 200 years, that human beings have grown taller on average. That just 2 to 300 years ago, the human race was shorter, and that's a statistical fact. So that does show, even in short history, that you know people do evolve and people do adapt and change to their environment. Of course, now science can't explain everything. We can only go so far back, even with science, all the way back to the Big Bang. We can't really prove anything before that. So that's where at least creation does get some credit in that sense, that creation pretty much fills in the gaps where evolution leaves off. Now, one strike against the creation story is why are kangaroos only in Australia? Why would God only put kangaroos in Australia? It would kind of look more to me that maybe if every thing was one continent at one time, the animals that were there, the life that was there, and Australia broke off and was its own island for hundreds of thousands or millions of years, uh, life evolved its own way and adapted to the changes, and that those animals couldn't go anywhere else because they were surrounded by water. Science says that we are actually descended from fish, that let's say the testicles in males, for example, the testicles in a fish are up in the abdomen close to the heart, and in say humans, for example, the testicles start there in the embryo and they'll descend down through the body as the embryo grows, and the testicles traveling through the body, when they exit out and go into the scrotum, that weakness in the body cavity is what makes men susceptible to hernias, because of that weakness that was formed there. And when you look at the human embryo, We do at one time have gills and have a tail. Now the tail goes away, of course, and legs are formed. But still, why would God make humans to have gills and a tail when they're an embryo, other than that could be traces of our evolution? Now, even some in science will say that uh, the amount of time that mankind has been here is not long enough for us to evolve the way we have, that it would have taken us many more years for our brains to have developed the way that they have. So, I mean, there is something special about humans that, we are the only creatures that are born in our environment, and we're disoriented. We don't know what to do compared to every other animal on the planet is born in the environment they're born in, and they're totally fine with their surroundings. One way people explain that is the reason that we're not, is that we've been given the free will to create our surroundings however we want to. Now, when you look at sex, sex is purely an act of lust. That, in my opinion, I don't really see anything spiritual about sex. That, to me, I don't really ever see people attracted to one another because of how spiritual they are. That, what you see as the norm is two people are physically attracted to each other, which again is evolution. Actually, evolution is all around us in our daily lives. Again, with sex, why are people attracted to certain people? Again, it's because of evolution, because we're selective of who we want to pass our genes on to. Again, why are people attracted to the people they're attracted to? It's through evolution. People just don't want to have sex with anyone. They're selective of who they want to have sex with because we're programmed that way. Why are there so many assholes in the world? Why are people mean? Why are there so many aspects about the world that are so cruel? Again, it's evolution. Just like you've heard before, the survival of the fittest. The reason the world is cruel the way it is for the strong to survive and thrive. It makes our species overall stronger. It's just like, why do bad things happen? Well, just because, just like the saying, shit happens. It's I don't really believe there's a deity up in the sky anywhere that's making good things happen to one person and bad things happen to another. It's just simply things happen. I mean, there's actually, to me, as much evidence for evolution if you just look around your daily life, compared to what science says. We're told from a religious perspective that all these bad thoughts and actions that we do, they're all sins. But really, again, it could just be evolution. So to sum it all up, it looks like to me, in my opinion, that there's more evidence for evolution than there is for the creation story. Now, I'm not saying that there's not a creator or that we weren't initially created, but I don't think the evidence is really there to say the world was created in 7 days. Now, I've talked to a person before who was explaining to me that the 7 days of creation, that in the true translation in the original text, that it's not an actual 7 days, that it's 7 time periods, and that it was translated to being 7 24-hour days. But at the same time, if you go and read it, it says the sun came up, the sun went down, which signifies a day. So, and again, that's someone using the Bible in a certain way, and then when they find out their way isn't right, well, I really think it meant this way, that they then take the Bible and change it to then how it will go along with the new scientific perspective. So, creation or evolution? What's your opinion on it? Leave your comments below and share your opinion. If there's a topic you'd like to hear me talk about, email me at asecretlie@gmail.com. asecretlie@gmail.com. And as always, go check out the books that I have in print on amazon.com. Just type in Jason Judkins into the search, that's Judkins, and all my work will appear. Some of the books that you can find in print and in Kindle versions are How the World Really Is, Obstacles 1 and 2, Life Lessons to Be Successful, and also my film that I have on Amazon Instant Video and on DVD titled How the World Really Is. I want to thank you for listening. Subscribe to my channel and share this with your friends on your Facebook and Twitter. And as always, thanks for listening.